Okay, good morning and welcome to Mo Knows featuring me, Monica Mo Justice. All right, thank you for the like. Thank you for the 5 people that are in here this morning. I haven't been here in a minute in the morning time. I got some things to do today. Okay, so let's see. The KMJ. And then she gonna get mad at me. She gonna be like, every time I enter the room, you make sound effects. Good morning, KK. If you don't know what, just in case, I'm still getting over this cold. Just in case you've been under a rock somewhere, KMJ stands for Karen Monica Joy. That's Karen's perspective, Monica Mo Justice, and Joy's chit chat. Hmm. Kind of funky. It became a hashtag for us because there was a time, or there still is a time, when folks was speaking on Karen Monica Joy. Something went down, it was Karen Monica Joy. Something happened, Karen Monica Joy. Live stream hit, they were either talking about the K, the M, or the J. They ain't had no other content. They ain't had no other things to do. So out of that enormous amount of they don't know what else to do but talk about the KMJ, birthed 3 simple letters that have obviously an impact on something somewhere. And if it doesn't, um, it did at some point. Nevertheless, each of those letters represent their own entity. It wasn't developed because the KMJ was doing something in concert with each other. It was developed because the KMJ was doing things representing their own entities out here that were being spoke on. Nothing has changed. I don't really run around repping KMJ, shouting it through mountaintops and community spots, unless the three pull up in the same spot. I'll be like, "Hey, the KMJ, what's good? What's goody?" Right? You know where that what's goody come from? That comes from Karen. I know the mic is still gonna be low. I came on OBS because I cannot stand StreamYards. I cannot stand looking at that little duck character in the corner, and I know I'm not putting no ducats to that because in the world that the M stands in, she doesn't really spend her time uh, collaborating with people that don't really like her. When I go over there into the StreamYard space, no, first and foremost, it's because I believe there's a conversation to be had with the community at large. And I give them the opportunity to discuss whatever it is. Chemo Sabi goes to you. So I do that from time to time. I don't necessarily have to just do it as a stream, but it's it's an interesting thing. I don't like to be floating on the green screen, and until I move this office upstairs in its new location, I'm gonna keep the backdrop. And the reason why I keep the backdrop that I have is so that my daughter can walk through the space openly without having to worry about coming up on camera. And second and foremost is that y'all don't really see the environment behind me because I think that being in the basement is a vulnerable spot if one of you decides to pull up and shoot me through the windows or something. I always have to have a constant concern that live streaming in an environment where people have your address and have sent other people to go find you, that anything is possible if somebody that's a bad actor falls through. See, when I said up here that a man checked for me based on another man sending him, people didn't believe me. But I heard that they called the man out and the man had to admit what occurred. So if the person can get that close, they could get closer. So you have to be concerned about that. And I've been concerned about that for a minute now. And it definitely has shaped my decisions on where I'm going to live and how I'm going to live. So when people did their doxing and thought that they was doing something big to expose certain things, understand this. Mo is always on her alert game. I'm a gang member for life. In the words of Huggy Pacino, the mama was a gangster. So I always have my gangster edge up, always watching my environment, very concerned about what could happen. When I went to Vegas recently, the concern was if you show them where you are sleeping, where you're laying your head, one of these people, one person in particular, might book a flight, because they said they live down the block. They go there. It's a 45-minute airfare. They might book a flight, show up. So, there was always a concern that somebody would be manic on here and engage in some type of behavior that would be concerning. There hasn't been that many successful pull-ups on here, but we know the J participated in one. So if that's possible because a dude dropped his locale and she showed up and showed out, anything's possible. So you always have to be concerned about that. In the headlines, or what I have heard that I didn't really highlight, but I want to come back at it because I was thinking about hypocrites and the hypocrisy of things that people say to you. One of the things synonymous with the neighborhood I frequent on the internet space, or in this YouTube environment, my YouTube environment, we became accustomed to not mentioning channel holders by their governments out here. And so your government name is the name on your driver's license, what you're known as. The government name for YouTube would be the name that your channel is called. So I'm Monica Mo Justice. So under my Monica Mo Justice brand, I let me see how to put this. Name calling. People have identified my Monica Mo Justice as something else. In the earlier days of Momo, she was known as Celie, right? A whole narrative was built out of Celie. I should have really asked Hyde himself, or I should have asked JJ himself. Kid Dynamite. I called him Kid Dynamite over here. And you know what? I can give you the origins of my name calling, so to speak, right? But these things have become throughout the years, maybe known, they're warmly accepted. People began to use the other names for folks around here to avoid being flagged on their channel because they used the person's name. Some people used other names, substitutes for channel holders' names or governments here to avoid redirecting traffic to it because YouTube automatically transcribes or closed captions your content. And if you're constantly saying Monica Mo Justice, you begin to send other people her way. Maybe you don't want to do that. So it was another way of not giving somebody a view or not promoting another channel, but talking about the other channel. Um, in the words of my former mentor, she mentioned nobody's names. She's not going to mention these clowns, whatever it was. Everyone that was here before I got here had a rationale behind why they picked names for folks. I never understood why I became Celie in other people's terms, but I definitely never accepted it. In kind, I went and we did a conversation here on the platform where we did a compare and contrast of Celie from The Color Purple. So we did The Color Purple, the movie versus the book. So we read the books and people saw the movie. Then we had a discussion. It turned out it was just Monica in this discussion with a bunch of people in the room because the buy-in for my channel has always been very low on the communication part. Very low on the people that participated in the communication. They did a lot of things behind the scenes to commingle. I had non-published live streams where I met with folks either by Zoom or back in the days it was just the unlisted live with a specific group of people, the influencers or those people that asked for the link. And I always had nice quiet events. But anyway, so I was thinking yesterday when I was replaying I was watching a video over that I'm going to re-air up here because I want to, again, emphasize the spider to the fly behavior because I think it's so critical in this space. And I can't not analyze that enough and compare and contrast to the behaviors that are around here to try to help people to see that sometimes people be setting a trap for you. And the trap is constructed based on what they think your weakness is in an effort to lure you into that trap. And then the result of the trap is the same. It's to destroy whatever it is that people like the most about you. And that's just the weirdest thing about the social space or the social environment that we are in at this time. Because I always feel that there's going to be a time and place when the channel's going to grow out of this audience, KYA, and I'm going to grow into a new audience who is going to appreciate what it was I set out to do in the first place. So that day will come and is scheduled to come. I just don't know when it is. Just like that if you are living, there's a day when you will be deceased. And that too is a day you don't know its date right now. So there's a lot of things could take place until that time. So I'm listening to, I don't know where the Celie thing came from, but I do know how I combated the Celie thing. But it stuck around for many years, and, it is what it is. People be, and Celie! I don't say too much about it, right? I know how I feel about it. I know what it looked like to me. I know what it symbolized in many avenues. I remember the day Big Steezy, shout out to her wherever she may be, or whomever she may be today, that whatever her channel morphed into or her identity is today. She was like, they called you silly because you used to cover your mouth like this. Ooh, I covered my mouth because I was ashamed of the teeth work or whatever, and knowing that it sits out here in cyberspace because unlike other people, Momomo, she's never been an avatar. I'm an avatar when I go on other people's platforms today. But I wasn't always an avatar. I've always been a face. I come out here with my face showing. So with that, I understand that there's going to be critiques about how I look. Never had I ever been on here and listened to a woman critique me and then say, and this is a problem that this person has with them internally. All right. And I'm here to tell you I've identified it unspoken purpose. And I definitely understand what you fight with. That's your demons. I was just about to cuss. But that's your demons, not mine. So to sit up here and be like, oh, you look like this. But if you do some camera angles, you got to learn how to do the camera angles so the people won't be able to make fun of you. Well, thank you for that for that offer of balancing out your hate speech right along with what I could do to correct it. Here's the difference. The people that are taking the time to find those flaws and highlight them because of that poor camera angle or what have you, and know that that's what they're doing, are practicing hate. Period. You know better, you should do better. Monica Mo Justice is a beautiful woman to Monica Mo Justice. I don't give a good God goodney who doesn't appreciate my beauty. I appreciate my beauty from the inside out. I don't need anybody on any free app or standalone to justify or validate Monica Mo Justice. Period. I wake up every morning thankful for being here, and I understand my evolution. You can't break me by your negative outflows. All you could do at best, if I consume it, is either help me in changing something I'm doing to make it better, or show me that I'm doing a great job, because whatever it is about me is bothering you. It's not bothering me, it's bothering you. I just cannot believe that I sat on a platform and a woman came up here and said, hey, don't call me helmet head. Well, I don't appreciate that. The stereotype behind it, right? Being crazy, whatever the helmet represented to her was offensive. And I was like, you know what? I don't know how you got that name by those people, but I don't have to inherit it in my conversation. I don't have to call you out of anything. She says, most of the time when you channel holders are calling people, you're using derogatory terms to describe them, etc., etc. I'm a better person than that. I don't do that. I was listening to this woman, and I'm going to go back to that video to listen to that stuff today, because I'm sitting up here and I'm like, where did all that go? From being on my platform and speaking however you spoke on it, because I didn't rehear it to really get its its actual statements. But I do know that down below what you were saying was that that was a bad thing to do. Because it made me reflect on, I can call people's names here. I really don't care personally. I'm not in the same space that I might have been in my season one, afraid of someone striking the platform and taking it away from me. I've had it too long to worry about it being taken away from me for petty things. I get the platforms are under more attack now just for the simple survivalship that I don't have to worry about those petty things like calling somebody's name, etc., etc. People don't even own the names that they being called. So what's the difference? I don't really have to make up a name for them. So you are so right. But what was most important to me is that I couldn't afford to have confused individuals like the people in the new community come in and be unable to identify my storylines and make mockeries out of them, that we got to sit around here and be like, wait, 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 that's not what that's about. No, no, that don't mean that. So you got to spend some time, instead of on your cause, you got to spend some time explaining, re-educating people. I don't got time to do that. I don't got time to do that. Everybody knew when Reckless went up there on Money Boy Trade's platform and he said, hey, Shiny Face. Even Shiny Face knew. Hey, shiny, shiny, shiny. However the song went, she knew exactly where that was coming from and who that was. I was re-listening last night to Eric Brown's panel, and I was listening to Rose Gold express how angry she was with that person's story. She was disappointed hearing that woman up there telling that story up there. One of the things she said she was angry about is that the person was putting out a false narrative that people who don't normally speak on a regular basis, like I and Rose Gold and I don't host conversations with each other. We're not picking up the phone. We're not texting each other. I think at best we may communicate if needed by email. So I don't know what the other person, I don't know what the mentor was putting out there, but it sounded as if she was making it seem like there was more of a relationship than what there really was. But I need everybody to understand the mentor is jealous of anybody that Monica speaks to, Monica Mo Justice, that is, has any communication with, because she didn't get that level of communication from me. See, she could not accept the parameters. She could not accept what I was providing as a friend. The length or how just what my limits were in that relationship. She could not identify with it because she wanted what other people had. Everybody doesn't get the same treatment as the next person. You cannot treat your son like your daughter. You cannot treat your man like your father. You cannot treat your significant other like you would treat your kids. You love them all the same, but there's boundaries to what you're going to do with them. I can't have the same relationship, and you shouldn't have the same relationship with your male friends that you have with your significant other. Like, it's just lines to it. This week I had to have a conversation with my children's father, and I was explaining to him, somebody whom I don't generally speak to, you guys. And I didn't even warn him that someday one of y'all might reach out to him, since everybody got a everybody got a baby's daddy. Ain't ain't his ain't your son a junior? So we was just like actually having a great conversation. Like if I never speak to him ever again in life, that would be the best conversation I've had with him since we were friends in high school. Since I knew him from high school. That's amazing. Like, and I'm going to be 100 with you. If I never spoke to him again, I would say we were at peace with each other based on that conversation. Like we were actually going down memory lane from when we were kids. That was crazy. I was even having a conversation with him and I was talking about somebody else. And you know me, I got things about things. And I was like, yeah, this is what so and so did, right? And he was like, damn, Monica, you gotta be like, he's like, yeah. Sometimes people have to remember why they liked you in the first place and stuff. We ain't go down no memory. We ain't go down no memory lane about the bad times. We just went down the good stuff, as you should when you having a conversation and stuff like that. And he was asking me some real life stuff, right, that we've never discussed in the whole time. And one of the things that he praises me for is that he's like he never had to worry. He's like, I never worried about my kids. You go down as the baby mama. That's the baby mama, the baby mama of all times, because I take them all. I treat them all the same. But anyway, we had a good conversation, and I was explaining to him some of the negative things I heard about me, especially like within this last week, like going to Vegas and dressing like an old lady and stuff like that. And he was like, "You're sophisticated." I was like, "Oh, what does that mean?" He's like I'm not expecting you to look like a hoe. Never have, never will. Like you've never been that on that level. Like he was like, even go to your. He's like, go to your high school pictures. He's like, Monica, you was coming to high school, like, and he was right. And I have to like really think about this. I was coming to school, the movie 9 to 5, working 9 to 5. I always dressed like I was going to an office. When I look back at things, he was so, especially when I was in that last year of high school, you would have thought I worked at, a Fortune 500 company. I wore skirts and jackets. Like I always was something different. Something, it was just I always just stood out differently. You would have never known. I was just ahead of my time for some things. So he was like, yeah, you just never was like even even track. Like he was like, you always had all the top stuff. Don't think you ain't had all the labels. You had all the labels. You had all the makings of everything. You had all the good friends. Like he's like, people just wanted. He's like, when I met you, I wanted to be around you because everybody was around you. You was around everybody. And in some aspects, I was the center of attention, and in other aspects, I just was, you know, that cool kid on the block. Um, and that's about it. I listened to another point being made, which, it's a point to whomever is trying to break up what they perceive to be a group, right? The KMJ. And what I see people doing is trying to plant little seeds in folks to cause division. That's because these content creators out here are rejected beef community people. They are antagonizers, and they spend their time planting seeds of doubt to cause conflict for content. The moment they can break up what they perceive to be a group, KMJ, even though we say we are our own entities, but if they could break up the union of the KMJ, they would do it. And they would do that by planting seeds. One person went and posted a community poll. What's the poll? I didn't see the poll. I've only heard about it. Who's the most popular? Popularity contest on the internet? Really? Okay. You post that poll in your community. Monica hasn't even seen it, right? So that means Monica, who represents the community, ain't even vote on it. So the only people that could vote on something like that are the people in your community. If your community, if Trey's community was built on the back of Monica Mo Justice as being the person that got him to 1,000, because y'all not going to rewrite the facts. The facts of the matter is when he met Joy, he was a nobody channel. And that is the truth. He was not in our community. She brought him in here, introduced him, and when he attacked Monica, because see, there will be no misunderstandings, and I'll put it on this thumbnail. He attacked me. He came in attacking me. So when he attacked Monica, and then he went on that campaign of videos after videos. So when people were up here talking about, he did that series on Joy for 20 or whatever dozen numbers it was, right? He came in here doing that when he attacked Monica. He went video after video after video. They built the State Gang from it. Yada, yada, yada. You understand? That was the beginnings of his birth. When you create a formula that has made you successful, you're going to continue to do that. And that's what he did. So putting that poll out there really to his people, as he should, because I'm not saying that he shouldn't make a poll or whatever, the audience, KYA, is going to vote accordingly. They know the Joy. She helped build him. They were crying or indifferent to the fake relationship or the fake breakup. I don't know what part of their relationship was true. But I know that there was some components of it that weren't. Oh, my lady, how are you? How are you? Ugh. Ugh. You're a person in my real life. Ugh. What you doing after this? Cause I'm gonna call you when I'm walking to the train station this morning. So let me just wrap this up. So he does this popularity poll, and the popularity poll is going to get the results that they got. Joy should be the most popular, because that's what she is to them. She's the most popular over there. He didn't ask who's the smartest out of the three. He didn't ask who's the most wittiest out of the three, who's the strongest hitter out of the three. He asked for who was popular amongst his people. And you got to answer. It's as simple as that. But you got other people now taking those results and running around here talking about, oh, Joy's more popular than blah, 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 and Joy's this and Joy's that. The people like Joy more. Oh, you hear Karen saying, define popular. I don't know what that means. it doesn't have any weight or bearing on me. In my eyes, I find Joy to be the most popular. I find her to be the most outspoken. When it comes down, no, I'm not going to say outspoken. I'm going to say I'm going to define what I mean by outspoken. Joy is joyful. She is a person she's a go-getter. She's going to go out there, go into other communities, engage with people. Popular people normally do that. So when I was thinking about this and I'm talking to my children's father, and he's saying to me, you was like the most popular girl out there, even if you was below the radar. And I was like, really? He was like, yeah, think about it. You was with this person, you was with that person. Everybody went to you, all the guys, and he was so right. All the guys were my friends because I was friends with all the girls. I was friends with girls in this set, that set, sets that didn't get together. I was in the middle of them. I came from this hood. I came from this hood over here, right? Tree line community. But I hung out in this hood over here, the 40s and the so ons, because those were my out. Those were the girls that could go to parties in the middle of the night, or I could sneak out and do things with them. Even though I didn't sneak, I just asked my mother to be like, okay, just come back by a decent time. No real time put on it. I had real responsibilities at a young age. I lived an adult life since I was about 15 years old. I was doing the same things that I could possibly do today without any restrictions since I was about 15 years old. When I got to high school, I was already going to parties and going to outside. They called them, I guess they were jams in the park or whatever it was. I was already in that. I had friends that were older than me. I was just in different groupings. So yeah, popular. So Joy is like that. She's definitely out there building brands. Built his. Popularity got him to where he's at through her. And you can't take away from somebody's growth and how they continue to project, what they do, right? You can't take away from that and give it all to Joy. However, when you can't do it, this is why it's very important in your initial stages of anything that you're doing. When you're in the middle of growing something big, you got to watch who's around you, because you never want people to perceive that your growth was based on your affiliation with somebody else, because it will grow resentment beyond resentment in the years to come. You want to always be able to own every step of your growth. And I think one of the downfalls for Money Boy Trey is that he and everyone that was in this community that watched him come from low 700s and know that they built him into that 1,000 spot because of his affiliation with Joy will always attribute his start by her. You got to watch that in life. You just got to watch that. But men are used to having strong women stand beside them, and then they grow. And they generally remember Waiting to Exhale and all the other instances of the black man and the black woman. The black man walks out on the woman that helped build him to that place. This would be somebody went through medical school. We grind. We was eating ramen noodles, right? Went to bed hungry many nights so that you could become a doctor. And then the minute he becomes a doctor, he done got with the nurse and dumped the woman that helped build him to that spot. So we used to that. So seeing that breakup, we will all be used to it. The reason why I'm harking on this morning is not to cause more strife between Money Boy Trey and Monica Mo Justice. It's to just remind people, because sometimes people be getting the facts wrong around here. That's what happened. Those are the facts. The facts can't be refuted. He was not at 1,000. He took on a campaign of messing with me, the Kanikian Cemetery community, went over there and subscribed to his channel and put him over the top listening. Period. So when he puts out that type of questionnaire to his community was built with her. They're going to find her to be the most popular. So for all the people with the soundboards, oh, the other two should be upset by that because she's more popular? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I know and I'm going to speak for myself, for Monica, I believe that Joy is the most popular amongst those people. And she probably is the most popular amongst people if you was to raise that same poll in my community. Or you was to raise that same poll over there in the J. She put that same poll up in her community, she would get the same result. So it's knowing your audience. That's all it is. So anybody trying to make that a division point for us, the KMJ, it's not going to lay. That's not going to lay. The reason why I'm speaking on it is because I see other people doing things, so I have to speak out. It's the KMJ. We had a little honey on the side, right? Because I invited Honey Lot without anybody else knowing, because I was traveling to Vegas as an independent entity. See how that works? KMJ, right? So that means I had things I wanted to do also, right? So I wanted to do things with the KMJ, and then I had my little honey on the side that I wanted to meet and experience because I'm on the West Coast. Honestly, being on the West Coast, I have a couple of other people I would have loved to have met while I was on the West Coast, just to have met them. So the next time when I travel out, I'll probably be on the West Coast again. I'll be in Cali, and I will definitely do my Cali thing with my Cali peeps. Or do something to meet up with Cali Connects and make those connections happen. It's been 7 years. There are some people I want to meet up with. So, just to help y'all out, those are my Queen Catherines. Just to give y'all, because you don't hear me calling out people over here, but there are definitely people that I would meet up with in the California area, in that area. Boom, 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 boom. Another point of trying to do division between the KMJ that I'm hearing. Monica's the weakest one. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Listen to the statement, y'all. The weakest one of the three. See, when you're doing comparisons of something, right? There's always going to be something that's stronger than the other, that has a stronger point than the other one. So it's not that Monica's weak. She's the weakest of the three. They all can't be at the same level of strength in that person's opinion. So you got KK being a wind tunnel and someone that is strong-willed. You got Joy being a wind tunnel and someone that's strong-willed. And you got Monica Mo Justice being a wind tunnel and someone that's strong-willed. And out of the three of them, this person has chose to rank me the weakest out of the three. Okay, just know I ain't weak to you. That's it. That's it. Because when I came in your territory, lady, and you tried to send your pit bulls after me, I handled them accordingly. I didn't lose. I didn't lose my edge. I didn't let people take me off my A game, make me look disrespectful on the streets. I was able to maintain my own, and you know it. So it's just the weakest out of the three. I'll take that. Next, I'm gonna leave y'all off with this. No weapon formed against me shall prosper. The tongues that speak in this community with no purpose will never be able to take apart a woman of substance, such as myself. I wake up in the morning a made woman. I hear Karen all the time say she's a made woman. Joy is making people. How made can you get? I represent the KMJ and the M part of it all day, every day. Anyway, y'all mull on that while y'all trying to scramble for some new fights to make the instigators. Notice I'm watching all y'all old videos also. And I'm finding all y'all old weaknesses because many of y'all have morphed into these bullies that y'all become today. Your words of yesterday and how you saw the type of people that you have transformed into is crazy. Don't make me have to remind you who you used to be. I suggest, and this is a mother effing warning. So take it at its face value. I suggest y'all begin to move around and leave me out of y'all BS. You've had your season to play with this stuff since we've been to Vegas, since we came back. Y'all done made y'all videos. Y'all done did y'all this and y'all done did y'all that. Now I'm telling y'all that I've allowed you to carry on in the way that y'all was doing y'all business. But I'm putting every mother effer on notice over here that enough in the name of your contest or your campaign over there is enough. You need to move on and start to do your meaningful dialogues that don't include me in it. I don't like to fight on the internet. I'm not afraid of a fight on the internet. I just don't have time for it. Don't make me find time for it. Carry on.